Joining us is Somdev Devvarman, who is going to talk us through what India can achieve in these Commonwealth Games that are going to start in Birmingham from the 28th of July. Somdev, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Karishma.
Somdev, talking about Racket Sports, what are the expectations going to be as far as CWG is concerned and adding to the medal tally is concerned?
I mean, I think we've had a fair amount of success, especially in the last couple. Obviously, bummer for me personally that there's no tennis. There hasn't been any tennis since 2010.
Yes.
But I mean, badminton has done fantastically well. I think PV Sindhu should be a favorite for the gold. You know, she already has a couple CWG medals under her belt, but none of them are gold. And I do think with the current form she's coming in on, she should be a favorite. Even in the men's side, we've been doing, you know, we have a very solid team, very experienced team. Table tennis as well. You know, we've historically done well over there. Can we better our performance from 2018? I think that's really the question, because we'll certainly be successful. Squash, I mean, Deepika, Joshna, Saurav, we've got a lot of players over there as well. So yes, I do think in the racket sports, we can expect to win quite a few medals and hopefully get India's tally up to a good number.
You spoke about PV Sindhu, but in table tennis, there is Manika Batra as well, who created history in Gold Coast when, you know, she won multiple medals. So clearly, the focus is going to be on these women, whether it's in racket sports or Mirabai in weightlifting, women empowerment.
Yes, women empowerment, and I mean, women empowerment for sure, because you also look at the number of medals that have been coming, not just in, you know, Asian Games and Commonwealth Games, but also in the Olympics. You're absolutely right. I think it is nice to see, you know, so many role models come out, so many girls doing really well from different parts of the country in different sports, in global sports as well. So yeah, it's huge. I think it's setting the right kind of trend, and yeah, more women that do take sport up professionally in our country. I think that's really good. It's a good sign that we're progressing in the right direction.
And so, in your realistic assessment, if I were to ask you how many medals can one expect from racket sports, what would you say? I'm not even going into the silver gold distribution at the moment, just an overall count.
Double digits. I think that should be fair.
That's a very safe answer.
I know it's a very safe answer. I know it's a very safe answer, but I mean, double digits is, I think, assured. It really should be. If we are lucky, I mean, above 15 would be, I think, very good. You know, but I think 10 to 12 should be a certainty.
And Somdev, any player that you're looking forward to, any sport that you're looking forward to see India play in, or a specific athlete that you're really waiting for to win a medal for India?
There's quite a few. There's really quite a few. I mean, I think Mirabai Chanu is honestly seems to be in a league of her own right now. She's, I think, well over 25, 30 kilos better than the second best competitor at the Commonwealth Games. So I think that's it'll be nice to see a really dominant performance where it's kind of, you know, unquestionable that the gold medal should go to someone. I think that'll be really nice to see. Boxing as well. I think you know, there's, I mean, Lovlina, she's going to have a tough one, but I mean, she is an Olympic medalist as well. But yeah, I think for me, Mirabai Chanu is the number one. She's someone I'm really looking forward to the most, and it's also going to happen in the first couple of days of the game, so that'll be exciting.
And you know, you spoke about boxing. Recently, we had an issue with Lovlina. She talked about you know, mental harassment because her coach wasn't there with her. How important is it for athletes to have their own personal coaches, and how do we understand this issue? You know, the federation has a certain set of coaches, and these athletes have their own personal coaches. So what do you do in a big event like this? How do you you know, decide whose personal coach can go and who's not?
It's a tricky one. It really is, and it's also not something that's new. I mean, all due respect to Lovlina, it's something that has happened around sporting federations. Now, the question isn't really, who's the federation sending? The question is, are they sending actually the best candidate for the job? Or is it that somebody has been given that role as a favor or something like that? So I think that's, in terms of boxing, obviously I can't make,
Yeah.
very clear comments on that because I don't know exactly what's been happening, but I can tell you through personal experience that a lot of times that we've had, coaches or physios or, strength coaches of ours not being able to come to the games, or not been given accreditation. It's not something new. And in a sense, the reason this is tricky because in a sense, the federation can, the committee can only send, like, let's say, for example, it's tennis. And I know there's no tennis at the Commonwealth Games, but there was in 2010. And there's so many superstar players. There was Leander, there was Mahesh, there was Rohan, there was Sanya, and I happened to be in the fray as well. But I couldn't take my coach, at that time, and it happened to be in Delhi. And sometimes, that's just a sacrifice that you have to make. It's far from ideal, but as an athlete, also you don't want to distract yourself. I do understand what Lavlina is saying in terms of feeling harassed, but I think big picture over here is, um, you have to kind of just, the best way to say it is suck it up.
Yourself.
Yeah, you have to just do it because at the time, you don't want to have distractions and you want to feel like you can compete at your best.
Last couple of questions.